Hi again, everyone. Debbie here. I wanted to show you how I make my twisted flowers. Kind of crinkly. They look a lot like carnations, in my opinion. It's really simple. I use the Tim Holtz Tattered Floral die for this. And I cut out several layers of each one. I'm going to show you with the two largest ones first. That's what I used to make this one. So, it's really simple. You take your dies and your cuts and you fold them in half like so, and then you accordion fold with one forward and one backwards, so you have the petals. It's like, looks like this. So you have one going forwards, one going backwards behind your center petal. And you take just a bowl of water. I put it in a bowl, it's easier for me, and you just put it in there for just a few minutes to get it wet. It's kind of saturated a little bit, more than normal. And then I take my tweezers, pinch it right in the center, like so, and then just kind of twist it around, almost like you're wringing it out. Take the tweezers out and let it sit for just a few minutes like that while you do the others. Now, I have tried it also with adding some color, so I just do the same fold, which is it's in half, fold it in half. You fold one set of petals towards the front, one set of petals towards the back. And if I don't know what color I'm going to use, what project I'm going to use it on, I don't know the color, I will leave them white and then spray them later. But if you know what color you want to use, like this is the Tim Holtz, and this is Pickled Raspberry. I'll take and just kind of run paper to the pad and add on some color. Just add some ink on there. Make sure it's nice and juicy paper, ink. So you have just a little bit of ink on the edges, and then you can submerge it into the water, and it will run because it is distress ink and it activates with water, reacts to water, and then pinch it and twist, and that will give you the wicking of the ink down into the paper. When it's still wet, but not too wet, you want to carefully open it up, like so, and then you have a flower like that, and then set it aside to dry completely before you attach it to a project, or before you start layering it. Do the same with this one. It's basically all you need to do is like that, and then you want to leave it, the petals all lifted up, let them set aside to dry. This one, same thing. I'm going to fold it back on itself, and they won't line up because it's an odd number of petals, but you still do the accordion fold, front, back, front, and then back. So you have something that looks like this. Put it in your water. Get wet. Take your tweezers, put it right in the center, and twist. Just like so. Just like so. So the other side, let it dry a little bit. And for the flowers, you can use as many layers as you like. It depends on how full you want your flower, how fluffy. I need to learn to get back into frame. So I'm just going to accordion fold back to front, back, front, and back. Again, submerge it in water. And I just keep a water bottle just to add to my little bowl. There we go. Again, in the middle and twist. It's just like you're wringing out the water. Set it aside to dry. I've also done it with two smaller ones, and they make really nice centers for the larger flowers. Again, fold in half and accordion fold back and front. Submerge it in your water. Pinch it right in the middle with your tweezers and twist. And that just brings out the excess water. So here we go again. This is another one. Put it in halves. And then accordion front to back. Submerge in the water. Pinch in the center of the petal, the top of the petal, this is the bottom, this is the top, and twist. And there you go. And then the same with the smaller ones, you're just going to fold them in half. And it is an odd number, so you'll have it will kind of stick out a little like that. That's okay, you can work around it. It just takes a little bit more maneuvering, but it works. And again, submerge it. Get nice and wet. And twist. Fold it in half. Accordion fold it front and back. Submerge it in water. And twist. Okay. So to make quite a few at one time, what I do is I set aside the ones I've already twisted and let them kind of dry out a little bit before I try and open them. You have to be real careful, especially with these ones, the long, thin petals, because they like to tear. But even if it tears, you can still use it. It turns out like that. And then here's one of the smaller ones. Open it up like that. Oops. Here's another one with the thin petals. Just go slow and take your time, peeling apart the petals carefully, and then it will open up easily. This is another flower I make. I do my roses, but sometimes I want something a little different than a rose. So I make these, like I said, I either call them a fluffy flower or twisted flower, whatever. That down just dry. Again, we'll open this one up. This is one of the smaller ones. And then these are the tiny, tiny ones. And these are really, really delicate, but it can be done. Okay, so there we go. Now the flower's made. I'm going to set this aside to let them dry. And I have some I already made up to show you. This is what they look like when they're dry. There's some of the smaller ones here. And then the tiny, tiny ones. And it's just a lot of dimension to them. And like I said, you can color the edges like this and let it wick down into it with the water, or just spray them with your favorite sprays and excuse me, and try it that way. So what I do is I take one of my larger pieces and a couple of those, and I kind of layer them together, offsetting the petals as much as possible. And there's some that are gonna really be spaced here. It's just part of the way it's shaped when it's wet, which is fine. It just adds character. I'll add a little bit of little dot of glue to the center and then offset my petals together. And once the paper has dried, it is really stiff, so it makes a really nice flower. So that's 2 layers. I add a 3rd layer of the larger ones. Offsetting just makes it full, pressing down in the center just to kind of give it a little more lift in the middle or on the edges. And I take 2 or 3 of my skinny petal pieces, and I will add those to the inside of that, just to give it a little more dimension, a little more fluff. You can add 1, 2, 3, however many you feel. Like I said, it just depends on how big you want your flower, how fluffy you want it to be. Just hold it inside. Put it in there. And with these, it's really nice because you can also add smaller flowers to the inside as well. That one in, or you could just put a tiny one in there if you like. But what I like to do, let's see if I can find one real quick, is add a pearl to the center of it, just so that it will, it depends on what project it's going on, but you can add a pearl to the center, a nice size pearl, just to kind of bring it up a little bit. Yeah. So that's how I make my fluffy flowers, my twisted flowers. I hope you find it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.